Good evening, everybody, and my screens have just gone black just as we went live. Pete, I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to hand over to you.
No, that's perfectly all right. Good evening, everyone. Hopefully there's something coming through on the stream for you all, even if Clyde is having some difficulties. Welcome to the Simcontrols GT3 Championship, brought to you by Next Level E-Series. This is round 2, and we are at Monza. In the booth with me tonight is, it will be Clyde Whiting when he sorts out all his technical issues. Bill Switzer's in the booth with us. How are you doing, Bill?
Hi, Pete. Good evening, everybody.
Also in the booth is Tyler Newitt.
Hello, Pete. Hello, everybody.
And doing all the technical wizardry in the background is Sam Boozan.
Good evening, everybody.
We've got a track temperature of 37 degrees, which is medium, I would say. I've seen it a lot hotter at Monza. And here we are at Monza, a very, very famous, iconic circuit with the Curva Grande, the Lesmos, Lesmo 1, Lesmo 2, and the Parabolica, which are the most famous turns on this track. F1 comes here regularly, if not every year for the last however many hundreds of years, I'm sure. They probably did donkey racing around here just to get it set up. So, Tyler, Next Level E-Series, some big names in here, and good drama last time out, if I remember. I'm going to try and find the results on the Discord channel. But anybody in here that stands out from the crowd for you tonight?
Well, we're looking at him right now. Carlos was I believe the winner of race 1 yesterday. He had some trouble in the reverse grid in race 2 last time out, but his I rating tells the tale a little bit. He's 7,500 I rating, which is substantial for those not versed in iRacing's rating systems. But he showed tremendous pace last time and some pretty excellent racecraft as well. I think the reverse grid in this series is great because the guys at the front are close enough that it's not an easy way to pick your way back through, but it makes for an excellent show, and I think we're going to have a good one here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So just to confirm, you're right. Carlos and Diego's won last time out. Sam Coiter finished second. There were some good battles with Sam, and I can't remember who it was exactly, but they didn't end up finishing with him. There was some incident. And then third was Mirko Bortolotti, with Jort van Wyk in 4th place and Kevin Unk in 5th. So they do score points for quite a number, well, for all positions, but you have to finish the race, I think, is the way that they do that. So, yeah, was there any names in there that aren't in here now, or rather the other way around?
It appears Mirko is out this week. He's been replaced by Martin Statman in the GazX lineup, it looks like.
Well, Maximilian Paul is here this week, and I don't think he was here for the last one.
Okay, yep.
So maybe GazX have done a proper shuffle up. So, Bill, Monza, massively famous track, some great iconic turns, high-speed corners. How's it going to fare for these GT3s?
I think it's a perfect track for this group and this model car. Anything up from this faster really belongs on this track. It's a great track for, like you mentioned, speed. It's got some hairy little spots. It's got a lot of hairy little spots on it, but like Parabolica is the most frustrating damn turn on the whole course. I mean,
yeah, it is.
I mean, no matter how hard you try to get that correct, I always do not get it correct. So it's very tricky. You got to be very patient. And the only thing I don't like about this course, I don't like the first chicane. I think it's awful tight. And it's ridiculous, trying to cram 43 cars through there at the same time. There's going to be a problem. So, but other than that, I know they did that for Formula One reasons because they're going like 5,000 miles an hour down through here, and they wanted to stop that. But here we are through, as a matter of fact, through the first chicane. I mean, just put 10 cars around and see what's going to happen. Somebody's going to be in the dust. I mean, it's going to happen. But it ought to be really sensational. I agree with Tyler. I think it's going to be a great race.
Yeah, and slipstream is an immense factor around this track, isn't it, Tyler? Especially down that start-finish straight. I don't drive GT3 very much. I'm not sure whether you do, but I'm assuming that the slipstream will be just as beneficial for these cars as any others.
Yeah, it certainly will play a part. I have to say, I don't have very many kind words for Monza. I think it's a bit of a shame that it's the famous historic track in Italy when you've got gems like Imola and Mugello. But you know, we're here, so we're gonna enjoy it. And I mean, these guys, they know how to put on a good show, so it doesn't matter if the track is not very conducive to good racing, in my opinion. I think we'll get some good battles. Definitely the slipstream is going to be important. It's pretty much the only way you can pass around here. You either get a good run out of Ascari into Parabolica, or you get a good run out of Parabolica into the first chicane, and that's how you set up your overtaking maneuvers, and you execute it on the brakes pretty much. That's what you do at Monza. So I think we'll see quite a few slipstream overtakes, and it'll be interesting to watch people with that reverse grid race working their way through the field. Because once you get a train of cars in the slipstream, as you're prone to do around tracks like Monza, it can get very difficult to actually make those overtakes happen, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some mistakes on the brakes into the first chicane.
It's terribly easy to get sucked into someone's slipstream and get your braking point wrong, especially if you're tucked right up under the wing and you've got a brake marker that is obscured. So I think you're absolutely right. There is a high propensity of chance of a mistake here. Everybody's piled out of the pitch, possibly wondering why. That's the start of qualifying. They've just done an hour and 10 minutes of practice. And it was Carlos that topped the timing screens there. Here we've got 20 minutes qualifying. That's not a lot round this track, really, is it, Bill? It's this track takes a while to get round. They're limited to 15 laps in this session, which they'll never achieve in the time that they're given anyway. But they need to get a move on, don't they?
Well, yeah, and another thing you're fighting here is, to try to get a clean lap. That's not always the easiest thing to do, especially if you have me in front of you. It takes about 4 or 5 laps, first of all, to get by me, and then second of all, to get the hell out of the way. So, that 20 minutes goes quick. You look at it and go, 20 minutes? But, when you're out in a group like this, it's not a lot, especially if you're going to go in, make an adjustment or whatever you want to do. I think you should have done that after practice, but what do I know? Anyway, it's not a lot of time, no.
No, and the camera that Sam's put in the rumble strip there on the exit of Lesmo 2 should feature quite a lot. Hopefully, once we get into some racing, we can get on board with somebody who we think might survive the entire lap and do an entire lap with them, because that's always an interesting perspective for the people watching at home. And this time, maybe Tyler can do it. Not that one, though, because it's got the roll cage bar across it on my screen, at least.
Nope, it looks all right on mine. This is Stefano Pellegrino into the first chicane at Monza. You're probably breaking around the 150 board in the GT3s. There's chaos in front of them. From my experience, you don't really want to take any of that left-hand orange apex curb, but you can take a whole bunch of the right-hand curb to open up your run onto the straight and into Curva Grande, braking presumably just at or after the bridge here in these GT3 cars. Again, a lot of curb on the left-hand side this time, but avoid the second curb, because that'll quite easily upset your car. This is the toughest corner on the track, in my opinion, Lesmo 1, because you feel like you can take it a lot faster than you can, but it really tightens up on exit. It's a similar deal for Lesmo 2, but you have a bit more banking helping you out there. And he's got a pretty good run here onto the straight leading into Ascari. They'll dip downhill for a bit under the bridge that is the old banked part of the track up into Ascari. And you can usually take a fair bit of curb in these GT cars as opposed to some of the more downforce focused cars, and indeed Stefano does. Take a lot of pavement on exit there, because you want to get a really good run on this straight into Parabolica. As I was saying, it's one of the corners where you can make a pass. Braking somewhere in that green strip on the left for Parabolica, there's some different philosophies to this corner. You can either keep it tight like we're seeing Stefano doing, or you can get on the gas really early and run right to the limit of the track. I've always been partial to keeping it tight and easing your way onto the straight. I don't know that there's really any time in it, but certainly you can wear out the tires a little bit more running wide. So that's a lap of Monza on board with Stefano Pellegrino for GazX Racing, and he has currently gone to 7th on the times and is dropping rather rapidly as people put lap times in.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tyler. Very insightful. Much more than me saying go slow here, go fast there.
Yeah, look, here's a turn. Okay, good. Yeah.
That's my usual style, Bill.
Now you're very good. I was doing me. This is a turn. It's Italy. Okay.
You get pizza on every other corner.
I see Carlos hasn't taken our advice and covered his car in BSTV logos.
No, he's distinctly lacking in logos, isn't he? He likes holding that number 2 very prominently on his car. And you can see the size difference with this BMW compared to some of the other vehicles in this. There's a lot of Audis, as we had last time, obviously. There's a few Lamborghinis, but the BMW is very tall, very, very meaty car. It obviously is very, very solid. It's reasonably popular. There's only about 4 in this race today, though. There are more Audis than anything else. I'm guessing the Audi is the more versatile car.
Yeah, the conventional, well, the current wisdom, as far as I understand it, is that you go with the Audi for all-around pace. The BMW is, my understanding, I haven't driven it, but it's considered to be very safe. But obviously, safe is good in a league where, you know, maybe you've got some drivers who haven't spent a lot of time in GT3 cars, but you're really going to need to kind of wring the neck of it to get the speed out of it. So that's why I think you're not seeing quite as many in a league with some really quick guys in it, though Carlos is certainly able to get the most out of that car.
Tell you another thing.
Sorry,
another thing Carlos has done too. He's made an ugly BMW look halfway decent. The paint scheme on it really improves the looks of it, I have to say.
Yeah, there are some excellent paint schemes in here. I saw one with a Danish flag on it earlier.
Wow.
And that's a new paint job to me. I can't remember who it was now. I did take note of his name, but I've then since, in true Pete fashion, forgotten it again. But it was lovely. It had like a topographical linear marking on it in the red. It was excellent. Yeah. And these guys spend a lot of time and probably money on these paint schemes for their advertising and sponsors. And it's not an amateur thing at all, is it?
Yeah, I don't know if we can get a camera on Nikolai Thrane, but I saw his Lamborghini earlier, and that was one of my favorite liveries that I've seen, and I don't remember seeing it last time out. It was red and black, which seems to be popular colors, but it looked quite sharp. But yeah, definitely a lot of good liveries. Even the teams, you know, Next Level's got their distinctive colors, and Kart Academy as well. Yeah, there's Nikolai.
The Lambo.
Yeah, this is the one I was meaning, actually. How ironic.
It is the Danish flag, isn't it?
Yeah. It's fantastic. I love that paint scheme. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's stellar. Yeah, the GazX guys have a great look as well with the chrome gold and the black and white down the side. It's pretty sharp. So yeah, lots of good liveries in this series. Plenty to choose from if you're trying to pick somebody to root for.
What did that say on that rear quarter panel there?
I think it said something along the lines of Clyde needs to go to Specsavers. I might be just clutching at that one though.
There is definitely something written on that.
We're gonna have to have a closer look at some point.
In the pits at the moment, so
yeah. Hopefully it says BSTV, but I doubt it. Anyway, right. So at the moment, your provisional pole man is that man there, Carlos Dieguez, from our winner from last time. Sorry, Second at the moment is Robin van Brink for DSCDA Esports. And his time is under 2/10. No, it's not. It's over 2/10 slower, which is not a great deal. These cars do go quite quick, so 2/10 is a reasonable on-track margin. And then third is David Plasman at the moment, with Niels Langeveld in fourth and Joran Vatlet in fifth. We saw Joran Vatlet in a huge amount of action last time out, if you remember. He is the guy, I think, in the yellow Lamborghini. Yes, there he is. He has changed his paint job.
Yes, he has.
So I used to get him mixed up with the Gaz X guys because the paint scheme is very similar.
That's right, it was.
So, yeah. So thanks, Joran, for helping me out, if nothing else. Oh, it's flashing.
Oh, he flashed
the light.
There you go. You're welcome.
Lad. He's always on the chat usually as well, so best of luck to Joran. It's a lovely. Well, I don't know what the fading is on that, but that's excellent paint work as well.
You know, it's funny.
So if you look on the chat, we've been told what it says on that Ferrari.
All right.
Lamborghini.
Yeah. All right. So it's advertising for a toy company called BR. Excellent stuff.
Not
Thank you.
BSTV, unfortunately, but
No.
Thank you for the information, Jonas.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Any other pearls of wisdom? Put it in the chat. So, how far in are we? We're 10 minutes in, so just over halfway through this qualifying session. Has anybody not set a time? There's a few not set a time at the bottom there. Sam Koiter being one of them.
I was noticing he wasn't at the front, so I went looking for him. He has not put a time in. He was quick in practice, and he's on track at the moment, although seemingly going rather slowly. But yeah, Sam's one we expect to be up towards the front for sure, if he can get a time in.
Yeah, you would expect so, because he's, usually right up there at the top of the pointy end of this. And Jensen de Liu, he's often quite quick as well for Kart Academy.
And Martin Statman of the GazX contingent has set a time, but it's well off of the pace, and he was up there in practice, so I think he's probably got more in it than that.
So we'll have to see how this shakes out. Maximilian Paul has put a time in, which is the other GazX car. He's currently 10th at the moment. Nikolai Thrain with the excellent paint job, currently 6th at the moment.
No Mirko Bortolotti, is there?
No.
Yeah, we did mention that. Yeah, Maximilian Paul, I think, is either him or Martin Statman are the substitute GazX driver, and we're in the Lamborghini series as well, so presumably Mirko's got some real-world racing responsibilities occupying him this time around.
I recognize that paint scheme.
And for those that are looking forward to V8 ESC starting on April the 17th, the field is growing. We've got nearly 30 drivers signed up now, and Max Paul and Mirko Bortolotti have both signed up. So it's going to be some great racing in that league.
I'm looking forward to getting a run at him.
Oh, are you racing that, are you, Tyler?
I am indeed, yep.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, good. Oh, look at this. Next level cars together. You almost never see that. He lied.
That is Wiebe Nijkamp in the Lamborghini that we're focusing on at the minute. Also runs in our GT4 series.
Yes, good old wobbly.
He is just outside the top 10 in times at the moment, so
Who's this
definitely
in the stealth Mercedes?
Oh, that's definitely stealth, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
Caleb
Lavender.
Lavender, yeah.
Wow.
While
Okay.
Sam Koitert has just put in a time that is 1000ths rather off of Carlos de Gade.
Right.
Wow.
That's close.
Is that called sandbagging at its best?
I think so. Yep.
Well, we were talking before about how, track positioning is really important in qualifying. And sometimes it can be just as much about finding a toe around here as it is about finding space. And really what it is finding somebody to run with sometimes, because you can find yourself in a group of cars that are a little bit slower than your pace or a little bit quicker than your pace, and that doesn't really help you at all because you need somebody who's right around your pace. So it would be interesting to see if Sam was up in behind somebody in that top group when he set that lap time.
Yeah, you are assuming that whoever you talk about is going to get through the first chicane on lap 1, though.
Yeah, of course.
This is interesting. Carlos has gone out, and in front of him is one of the GazX cars.
Yeah, that's Stefano Pellegrino, I think, the AM entrant for GazX. He is... Well, Carlos just improved his lap because he was closer to Sam. So perhaps Carlos on a bit of a cool-down lap at the moment. Not sure if Stefano's on a hot lap, but yeah, certainly Carlos right up in behind him. He's not going to set the timing screens on fire this time around.
No, and obviously for the viewers at home, your times are on the screen. The time to beat is a 1:47.58, and the top 5, or rather, 6 of the top 7 are currently out on track. So there's plenty coming at these guys. I'm trying to see down the bottom there if there's anybody of note. Who's that guy? Ben Cullen. He's going to have to pull his finger out from where he is. Not that he's a BSTV driver or anything, as Bill called out before. I'm trying to see if there's anybody down here that could put a time in that could upset the apple cart, but I don't think there is.
Pep Kreisfeld is usually a bit further up, isn't he?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. For trefoil trading, yeah.
Not to give Ben too many excuses, but my understanding is that he has similarly overextended himself and is running in about 12 different leagues at the moment. So I think this is one of the ones he hasn't had a ton of time to practice for. I know we were doing a lot of running for Okayama, so I think that was his focus this week, and he's just seeing what he can make out of this this race here today.
Oh look, they've named their car after you, Clyde. Abnormal.
Flamer?
No, it just says abnormal on the top.
Oh, I thought you meant he was a flamer. You know,
There's an interesting paint job on that McLaren.
It is, yeah.
Oh, you're not kidding. Very complex, all kinds of stuff on there.
Yeah, normally when they do the teeth on the front, I think they do like shark's teeth, to make it intimidating, and not like human teeth to make it look weird.
It does look weird, but I like it.
Some of the views we're getting of these cars look like they have strobe lights on them with the light reflecting off everything. That's kind of cool.
That other McLaren looked like it was the same team as well, and I think that's the only 2 McLarens in the field that I can see. So that'll be Danny Hugendorn and Jelle Stamborg.
So if you need to cook a hot dog or a hamburger, just run close behind these guys.
Yep.
Yeah, these are DSCDA. There's a good amount of flame for that marshmallow that you're chasing the car with.
Whoa! I saw a lot of smoke there.
I did as well, but I don't see anything in front. I think it was just a lockup, maybe?
Could be. A lot of smoke. Well, with the new upgrade, I guess we're getting lots of smoke now.
Yeah, because
that's sorry, Pete, there's Martin Statman jumping his way into the top 10. He just went 7th with that time. Still more than a half a second off of Carlos de Giz at the moment.
Yeah, David Plasman just shot up to 3rd.
Oh, we did, yes. For RSR Esports.
Wow, look at that. That brake rotor was red hot just then.
Well, look at the size of the vehicle it's got to stop.
Yeah, no kidding.
That brake disc is probably as big as my front door. Evening, sir. I'm just going to change the subject. It's a good job you can't hear what Sam just said. So
one day he's going to cock up. Don't
he
you?
is, yeah. He's going to have the wrong button pressed.
Yeah,
totally.
I watched at my microphone and make sure it was muted like 10 times before I put that joke in.
So, evening to Adam Wright on the chat. Is that Sam Wheatley? Don't know. Which class is the yellow guy?
Hugo Sass has a yellow car. Or yellow background number.
Oh, he's a GazX driver. Oh no, yeah, he's. I think he's a late entry or something, because he wasn't in the project file. But I think I think that's Sam. I'm not sure. Is referring to is Joran Battler, and he's on a pro license.
I'm just about finished with qualifying here.
Yeah, still a few on the track.
Yeah, more than normal when you get to the end of a qualifying session. Usually people have thrown their gloves at the windscreen and got angry by now. But there's still some people out there putting in some serious sectors. One of them being Flavio Saturnino. We're watching Oscar Pie at the moment.
Well, speaking of good liveries, that I forgot about that one last time.
That's nice.
That is sharp.
Yeah, that's excellent stuff.
Oh, you gone? Oh, that's right.
I guess they don't get to complete their laps.
Oh, it's a hard stop. Oh. And that is it. We are now into what they call in Heat 1, which is the first race of the evening. This will be a 25-minute race.
And beyond the race for the lead, the one position to watch will be position 10, which Nikolai Thrain qualified in. But there's quite a few drivers around there who will be trying to sneak into that reverse grid.
Yeah. And we'll have to see if we can spot any tactics for working out how you get to the pole point on race 2. So everybody forms up. We're going to have to run through this starting grid fairly quickly, I think. You don't get much of a roll, do you, here? So your pole man will be Carlos Dieguez. As we said before, nobody beat his time. Sam Coiter will go off second for Racecraft. David Plasman will go off third for RSR Esports. Robin Van Brenk for DSCDA Esports will go off fourth. Flavio Saturnino will go off fifth. Niels Langeveld for T3 Motorsport off sixth. Martin Statman off seventh for GazX. Joran Vatler off 8th for Simworld GT Racing. Maximilian Paul off 9th for GazX Racing. And 10th will be Nikolai Thrain. 11th will be Wiebe Nijkamp for Next Level E-Series. How he's not surrounded by his own people, I don't know. Kevin Unk will go off 12th for DSCDA Esports.
Kaz Brinkhausen will roll off 13th for Next Level Esports. Jeffrey Kolmel rolls off 14th. I think he's also a Next Level guy, but doesn't have anything there. Justin Nair, another Next Level driver, in 15th. Oscar Pye, who we just saw at the end of qualifying there, will roll off 16th. Caleb Lavender in the Stealth Mercedes rolls off 17th. Richard Von Kemma, the first of the AM qualifiers for Kart Academy, in 18th. Jelle Stamborg for DSCDA rolls off 19th. Hugo Sassa for GazX Racing will roll off 20th. Eric Verley, another AM driver, rolls off 21st. Pepin Krajeveld, not the pace we're used to seeing from him. He rolls off 22nd for Trefoil Trading. Fabian Tobin rolls off 23rd, and Dennis Earhart 24th for Austrian Sim Racers.
Ferdinand Kuhl, 25th. Joris Blom, 26th. Jeremy Van der
Kratz.
Yes, is 27th. Robin Klocker is 28th. Simon Van Dijk, 29th. Stefan Van der Velde is in 30th. Alias De Vries, 31st. Stefano Pellegrino, 32nd. Mick Stoop, 33rd. Elijah Mitchell, 34th. Richard Bakima, 35th. And Ben Cullen, 36th.
37th is Danny Hoggendorn. Hodgendorn, I think that. Oh no, Hugendorn. There we go. I'll try a fifth time. Ricard Bobeck will go off 38th. 39th will be Christian Glanister. Alex Reinders off 40th. 41st, Tarek El Shafi. 42nd, Imam Bakr. And I'm not going to finish the rest because they're going to go shortly, aren't they?
Well, those two are not on track at the moment, so either they're starting from the pits or not starting at all.
They're holding them up.
Yeah, Carlos really held up. And, Sam is a big loser there.
Yeah. And he's in the middle, 3 wide.
Maybe not. Let's see what happens in turn 1 here.
Well,
I'm gonna shut my eyes.
Yeah, just look away. It's less painful that way.
Oh, here we go. Here we
oh,
go.
there's somebody
yeah.
over.
Back.
Oh, we got people upside down and backwards and all.
Oh dear.
We've got cars, mounting cars.
I
And
didn't
people
realise.
wonder why I don't like Monza.
Yeah, it's, in
Welcome
9
to
months'
the-
time, there's going to be some baby Audis.
Welcome to the Monza Demolition Derby that we didn't know we were getting.
So I'm just looking at the. Sorry, Pete. I'm looking at the names down the order. Looks like Eric Verley, Caleb Lavender, Ricard Boberg, Pepin Kreisveld, Robin Kloka, Ricardo Ronquema all lost significant spots in that one. So those are the drivers that we likely saw with the acrobatics into the first corner.
Yeah, and I think Sam Koiter is a bit angry about the start. He's very, very racy here.
Whoa!
Who was that? That was
Flavio.
Flavio,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, he's
Well,
done
and Flavio and
Still
Sam were
not got it
racing
under control.
Maximilian Paul.
Yeah.
They're racing Maximilian Paul, who we know is very racy and likes to, challenge aggressively with talent, which is what it takes to do that well. And
no
Sam
idea
did a
what
good
that
job. Sam did a good job of getting through there without. I don't think there was any contact that sent Saturnino off. I'm pretty sure he just lost it under the brakes.
Saturnino, after this half a lap, must have about 20 incident points. He's gone off about 9 times. God.
So Carlos Dieguez hasn't been allowed to get away. He's got company at the moment in the form of David Plasman and Robin Van Brink.
It was a really good start from David Plasman, who was in behind Carlos, obviously benefited by Sam having the issues at the start, but he has really held on to Carlos well, as we see. I think one of the Gaz X cars must have had a slowdown there. That's Maximilian Paul, because he had to surrender a couple of positions there in Curva Grande. I think he's still giving that time back.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Now he's going again, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was, because he really lost out there. There's Oscar Pai. He's up 4 spots from the start into 12th in his Mercedes, trying to hold off Kaz Brinkhausen at the moment.
It's certainly a dramatic start. I don't know whether this is even possible, Sam, but I'd like to see from Sam Koiter's car the rolling start and find out what happened. I don't know whether he got caught in the wrong gear or just got mugged.
I think another view to look at would be Ben Cullens, because I think he snuck his way through there, but he would have had a nice seat for all that was going on around him.
Right.
So both of those would be good to see.
Here comes some replay, okay. Oh, we're up near the front.
Here we go. This is what I wanted to see. So he can see his front wheel. Oh, and he gets a bit... Yes, he gets duped.
Carlos stopped and went again, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know whether that's in the
You're not
rules
supposed
or
to
not.
do that, by the way.
No. So I don't know whether race control have observed that
Once you heard me
behaviour.
jerk like that, you're supposed to go. You're not supposed to do that.
You watch, go, stop, go.
Nah, it's not right. It's not right.
Well, I don't know what race control review on that, to be honest. Maybe they will. Maybe we'll yet see a penalty for Carlos on that one.
Sam really got mugged, didn't he? Wow.
Yeah, he did. Others did not. Did you say Ben Cullen's view might be entertaining?
I think it will be, yes, because he was right
Okay,
in
we're
the
on
mix
board
of
with
all
it
of
right
it.
now. Here we go.
Yeah, I've not got this one. I'm going to have to watch it on the stream.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that guy go the opposite way. Yeah.
There's
Wow,
one,
man, you
there's
live
one
in the
turtle
Angels,
there.
yeah.
Wow. How the heck do you get through there?
Nobody
I think
knows.
he was just patient, which is what you need to do in Monza, isn't it?
Only the first lap, that's right. Good for him. He played that one very smart. Smartly, I should say.
There's 2 accidents
Just
at the
chaos.
same time
Those
there.
gas X
Yeah.
cars was the start of it. That guy right there, who that is.
I believe that's Maximilian Paul. He's the only Gaz X Lamborghini. Oh no, I think
No,
it's
it'll be-
Sassa, isn't it? Hugo Sassa.
Look at
Oh,
he got
he
nerfed
gets
from behind.
nudged.
Yeah.
We got a blue cone. Oh no, that's 20 points.
And that's the tough. They always say hold the brakes, but when you're perpendicular to the track, blocking pretty much the entire width of it, I think he did the right thing there by trying to accelerate away.
Yes,
Because
I would agree.
Or sliding down the track on your brakes. There's no
that's
holding the
live,
brakes.
isn't it? That's
Yeah,
contact.
oh, that's Flavio.
Yelly Stam. Oh, that's Saturnino.
Yeah,
It was
Flavio.
Yellow Sandberg who turned him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
Parabolica.
Beth Flavio's having a lot of
And
fun
that's-
today. Oh,
That's the
baby.
worst place to be as well, just after the pit lane entry.
Yep.
Quite a few casualties in the. Oh dear.
Oh boy, that was not good.
That's odd. That McLaren did not budge. It didn't even look like it had hit anything.
Almost like he didn't even see him for some reason.
Yeah, that's all on Yellow there. He should be. I think the only thing I can think is if he thought that the Audi was going to continue to run wider there, and Saturnino was keeping it tight to avoid the off track, but still, you have to be aware of that. You have to know how that corner tightens up on exit.
It's up to you to pass safely, isn't it? Rather than the car in front to adjust its line for you.
Oh, it didn't even look like he was trying to pass. He was barely alongside him at that point.
So we're following Fabian Tobben, who's got a lot of cars in close company here. Hugo Sass, if that's how you say your name, Hugo. My German has never been great. Is immediately behind him, and in front of him, Justin Naya. In fact, my English isn't great, but never mind. He's in front of him. So this is Justin Naya with Nick Stoop in front of him. Whoa, what is that?
That's Yellow Sandborg.
Maybe another one.
Oh dear, what is going on? Has somebody greased the track?
Holy mackerlandy.
I don't understand what I'm watching.
There's a number of cars still dropping down through the order. What is going on?
Whoa, let's do a little drifting. Oh my.
So there was a car off. Oh, there was a McLaren going at like 1 mile an hour down the centre.
Oh yeah.
And that's what caused everything beyond that, obviously. I don't even know what that McLaren was. Oh, he was crashed into the next level.
Next level car, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Right. I can honestly say I've never seen a crash there before.
So we currently have 10 cars in the pits.
Oh
Ooh.
goodness, there's another one. Oh,
Wow,
no,
This is the replay.
Yeah.
So we lost it in Ascari, and the next level car was just an innocent bystander. He was just trying to get off the track.
Yeah, he was trying to get going again. Exactly.
Yeah. So Danny Hugendorn, Alex Reinders, Flavio Saturnino, Yellis Stamborg, Fabian Tobin, Joris Bloom, Robin Kloka. I just lost. There it is. Stefan van der Velde, Caleb Lavender, Eric Verley, all in the pits at the moment. So presumably a number of them were involved in that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's the culmination of two big accidents, isn't it? The start of the race and that one. That was massive.
Yes.
That.
Yeah. Yeah, Caleb Lavender and Eric Verley have been in there since the start, so...
Yeah, there was so much impact in that. You wouldn't be getting out to pick up the bits, would you? You'd be sweeping up the bits. They must have been infinitesimally small after all those. So, I'm waiting for my SDK screen to sort itself out, but I don't think it knows how to anymore. It can't process the fact that so many cars are in the pits. So Carlos is still in the lead. David Plasman is still in second, and Niels Langeveld is still in third. Robin van Brink appears to have lost a position, but until my SDK screen sorts itself out, I won't know.
That's right. Yeah, Niels must have gotten by at some point because it was Carlos, David, and Robin running 1, 2, 3. Niels has been able to jump Robin, but he's got a bit of a gap to David Plasman. He's got a bit of a gap at this point now to Carlos Diegas as well. So starting to spread out a bit. There you can see the gap. That's first to second to third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So
yeah,
bit spread out at the front, but still right there together in the pack. Kevin Oop currently sits in 10th, which will be the reverse grid spot. Kaz Brinkhausen and Oscar Pai are the challengers for that position at the moment. Wiebe Nijkamp one spot clear. So that'll be a group to watch as we get towards the end of this race. Just not even halfway through at the moment. Still time
Oh,
to go.
yeah, that was a Gazek Mercedes.
That'll be Pellegrino then.
Yeah, there he is.
I'm just trying to get back on there.
Yeah, when you hit those bumps, Bill, it sends you into the stratosphere.
Oh yeah.
I think
Defending.
I think this might be a bump. Oh, might not know.
Yep.
Oh, he
Side to
just-
side.
Yeah, he just went when you get on the brakes, sometimes the car takes a not so straight line, and Stefano, when he hit the brakes, just drifted left a little bit into that Audi there.
Yeah. That is one battered looking Audi, isn't it?
That's a special wing, isn't it?
The Silverstone wing, as they say.
Yeah. That rear wing says screams experience, doesn't it? It's had a lot of it.
It top Silverstone wing too. Yep.
Yeah.
Does seem Sam Coitert has stalled out a little bit here, although he is fighting hard in this battle for third. He drifted back, I think, about to 8th, and then
Yeah, he's got
where he
a
is
few
now.
back, hasn't he? But when you're coming back, the further you go up the field, the faster the cars are. So
Exactly. And one thing that's worth mentioning, and I'm pretty sure it's the case, is that it's the same points race 1 and race 2. So obviously what you want is to win both races, but there's something to be said for getting yourself a good starting spot for the reverse, especially knowing what happened back in the pack, on this race start. It might be worthwhile to not push too hard to try and make up spots, knowing that you'll be in a better starting position for race 2.
Yeah, totally. And Jonas on the chat has said Monza is certainly being Monza today. I don't know what he means. Evening to Stacey on the chat. And Christopher Anya, I hope that's how you say your name, who's cheering for Team ASR with Dennis Earnhardt. Earnhardt.
Oh, I thought it was related to Dale Earnhardt.
Every time I see it on the timing screen, I have to catch myself because I want to say Dale Earnhardt, but it is not.
And you were going to ask him to sign your buttocks or something, yeah?
Well, Dale Earnhardt would have a hard time doing that, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. might be it.
Yeah. So this might well be an overtake or a crash.
Yeah,
Whoa.
he's pinned him in.
He has. He's using the other car as a pick here, I think.
This could be.
Whoa.
tasty. Whoa.
Oh, he's made it. He stopped it in good form, though. That's really
That
good,
was
though.
amazing. Yep, that's a good job.
Yeah, I think you're watching 3 drivers who know how to do this. Because, it's not hard to make a pass happen into turn 1 when you've got 3 very competent drivers.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult when, especially, if you just don't know the relative skill of everyone around you, it's really difficult to make that happen. But that showed us 3 people who definitely know what they're doing.
So also on the chat we've got CJL4X, who got killed in turn 1, lap 1.
I'd imagine that's Caleb Lavender.
Caleb Lavender,
I would have thought so. Twice Tice, I believe that is Tice Simons. He's glad that the GTEs don't go here this season. Chris
Next one's
Jackson.
blind. That's Jackson, isn't it?
Evening, you beautiful gents.
And Cullen's got time to message and drive.
Yeah.
Been so relaxing this race.
Is he getting his catharsis now, is he, around Monza?
I think he was behind. Well, he was behind the turn 1 wreck, and he was behind the back straight wreck as well. But he's up 14 spots from where he started, so he's not having a bad day.
It's odd because there's 16 cars in the pits, so what's he doing? Try harder. Try harder. There's another one. That's the overtaking on the wrong side behind. So this may go the Audi's way. Although you are on the right side for the second part of the turn, but he's not.
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about in qualifying. How there's 2 lines through Parabolica.
Yeah.
Martin Statman took the get on throttle early and hope it sticks around the outside, but I think this track's just a little too hot for that. and he ended up losing out. But it was a solid attempt, and he'll have another go at it here into turn 1 on the outside.
That's job done there for Sam Koiter on Niels Langeveld.
And I was watching the stream instead of the live race. That's why it's behind a corner or two.
I'd like to say I've never done that. Ben says he's trying. Very trying.
You said try harder, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Ben is... Where is Ben? Ben's currently in 22nd. So, not too shabby, actually.
16th among the pro drivers.
That's shabby.
But you do hesitate to call Ben a pro driver, of course.
Oh, Ben is now on the screen.
Yeah, and twice Tice is actually Matt Snook.
Right, okay.
Fooled us all.
Confusing.
Definitely agree with his comment about glad the GTEs don't go again.
Well, we can always add another race.
Really rather you did.
So, Nikolai Thrain is now got the traction beams on Joran Vatler.
Am I reading this correctly? Is Ferdinand Kuhl in first place in the AM series?
Yes, he is.
Oh,
ahead
right,
of,
yeah, my
Richard
man,
Buchanan
Ferdinand Kuhl, yeah.
and Nick Stoop. That had been Jelle Stamborg before he was the focal point of that incident out of Ascari. He was leading the AM class quite handily when that happened, I believe.
Good move there by Kevin Wink.
That is for 9th place, so that gives him a spot of buffer out of the reverse window. Kaz Brinkhausen wants to take it from his teammate Wiebeniekamp at the moment.
These two have been running line and stern since the start. Well, since the chaos at the start. So,
Shock horror.
yeah. Next level cars racing together.
But you know, if you shut off that laser beam, it wouldn't work the alternator so hard, so you'd probably go faster.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. This might be an overtake. No, he's tucked back in.
If you have to be very good out of Lesmo 1 to make an overtake in Lesmo 2.
Got that right.
Or you have to have the car in front of you have an issue. That's the only way you're going to make that happen.
And the guy on the outside invariably will get an incident points for going off there, too.
And you'll both go way, way slower than you would be if
Yep.
you were line of stern.
So,
That's Monza.
Yeah, Nikolai Thrain has got this one
He's
set
got
up.
points for doing that. See? Oh!
Oh no!
Oh dear, what's happened there? Nick Stoop
Well, that's-
and... Oh,
Nick
that was the
Stoop.
battle
Two
we
who
were
were battling. Yeah, Justin Nair. That's the next level car.
The guy coming
That
below
was-
almost nailed him. Wow.
Yeah, one of the Kart Academy cars from Kema.
See this on some screen.
Late break. Oh, Nair
Oh,
just
God.
lost it
Oh, yeah,
over the
yeah.
curbs in Ascari.
Yeah, Nick Stoop was a victim of circumstance there.
Yes, he was. He's on board with Justin Nair. You can definitely take some of those curbs on the left, but he took a bit too much, too early too. You have to kind of late apex it if you're going to hit those curbs that hard. Otherwise, it'll do exactly what it did to Justin Nair and push you out wide into the gravel, and well, you saw what happens.
Playing on board with Nick Stoop.
Yeah, from his perspective. Oh gosh, you can just see that car get launched, and that's a very helpless feeling, watching that happen in front of
There's
you.
nothing you can do.
No, if you hit the brakes, you're dead anyway, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, he's going to get you.
Jonas Marabo, the black and metallic blue Mercedes, is Oscar Pye, currently 12th place. And Ben's not happy about my pro comment.
Oscar Pye's got quite a long way to go to catch up with Wiebeniekamp, but
Yeah,
Kaz Brinkhausen has done both Kevin Unk and Wiebeniekamp while we were talking about all that.
That's very true. Yeah, We missed that.
And there's and now
Statman
repaired.
and
Sorry.
oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Statman and Van Brank going into turn 1 side by side. Statman's still trying to get that move done, and I think he might have it. Not quite.
No, not today.
Good traction on that Audi.
Yeah, that's I think where the BMW struggles. Obviously, he wasn't on the line, a good line to get the traction out, but that Audi is so strong out of the corners if you have it set up right.
There's lots and lots of top speed power in that BMW, though, isn't there?
So
Gotta
Boot,
reel them in.
Bukinicam says, "Come on, wobbly."
You can only assume that they're related.
And to Chris Jackson, that's the difference between messaging while driving and messaging while racing, because, you know, messaging while driving is easy enough, but messaging while racing is a little more challenging.
So the battle continues. See if the
Looks like
Audi's
he's got
got
him
traction
this time.
around the outside here.
Oh, we got
I don't think he's got him yet. I think this is going to go all the way to the first chicane.
Yeah, but this time Statman has the better line into the chicane.
Yeah.
He'll be able to get a better run off if he can't clear him in the entrance of the chicane. But the Audi is more slippery in a straight line, isn't it?
This is what I was saying. The BMW is very tall as a car, isn't it? Very high. So this is going to go the Audi's way, in my opinion, once he gets it straightened up.
I would imagine it's an increasingly frustrated Martin Statman in that car. He has been working on that Audi for a while now.
Yeah, when you run somebody that long, all thoughts of conserving are off the table.
So one name that we've not mentioned a lot or seen on the track a lot is Maximilian Paul. He's down 7 places and in 16th place at the moment, so I don't know whether he's carrying damage.
Well, didn't he have a?
He was involved in the incident out of Ascari.
Yeah, he was on the back straightaway where you never saw an accident before, I think.
Or was Tetsasa? It was one of the guys' ex-Lamborghinis.
There he is on screen now.
Yep, the front of that looks a bit beaten up.
Whoa! It's getting crazy here. In the battle for 5th through, I don't know, about 14th.
Yeah, the whole pack of race cars.
Those two guys just came into the Scari at about 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, with one Rizzler paper apart.
Ah, my favorite turn. Not.
Here they are, the gaggle. So Joran Vatlet starts all this in 7th place, and then 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. With 13th getting a bit interested in the form of Oscar Pye.
Aaron's got a crew of pretty good sled drivers behind him too. So, that was a little coming together.
Yeah, wheel to wheel, I think. That.
Yep.
Oh, that's very wide. He managed to get that between those cars very well.
And that moves Kaz Brinkhausen back into the final reverse grid spot. He had been dropped by Kevin New going through, I think. But now Wiebe Nijkamp and Kaz Brinkhausen both in transfer positions. Oscar Pye, the man on the outside looking in, as we are coming into... if we're not on the final lap, we should be one away from it, because we're almost up against the time limit and the lap limit.
Yep. And Nikolai Thrain, by the way, won't be getting his driver's license trying to do a chicane like he did those bollards. I think he hit them all. This is your race leader, Carlos Dieguez, who has a 6.7 second lead, which is fairly mighty, to be honest, given the length of the race. And David Plasman is the car chasing him down somewhere in the distance. And is our cameraman showing us this because he's about to cross the line?
Yep, and that's
He
it.
gets the
And
checker
there's
flag.
the
He's the
win.
winner of the first section, or sector. First half, pardon me.
David Plasman, home, second place for RSR Esports.
So
And
we got
Sam
one
Coiter.
less lap than if it hadn't been a time certain race, I suppose, because they would have just started lap 15 now. But don't know if that affected anybody. It'll be Kaz Brinkhausen in the final transfer spot. Oscar Pye just missing out. Nikolai Thrain spun himself out of a good good starting position for race 2. Unfortunately, he'll be kicking himself for that one, I think.
It's that Audi that's only had 40 careless owners. That Ford's seen better days, as has that Lamborghini. So this is the rolling wounded back here, I think.
Yeah, not as strong a showing for Simon Van Dyke in that Ford as it was last time out at Mid-Ohio, where he put on a pretty stellar performance being the only Ford in the field. But this time he is 7th in the AM class.
Matter of fact, Carlos, I just saw a message pop up on the screen. He was mentioning at the start, he apologized, said that he started to go and it said, message, the pit was closed or something, and he hesitated for a minute. So I guess maybe that's the reason. I don't know.
That's a new one. I hadn't heard that one before. But
Yeah, well, put that in your memory bank there.
yeah, keep it in mind for the next GT4
yeah, you might need
race
it someday, you know?
on Wednesday. Yeah.
So that concludes the first race of tonight's Next Level Esports Simcontrols GT3 race from Monza. And shortly, hopefully, once the session ticks over, it has done. Do you guys want to run us through the finishing order?
I'll take it short. Carlos Dieguez is your race 1 winner, ahead of David Plasman, who had a strong showing up from 3rd place on the start. Sam Coiter recovered to 3rd, round out the podium for race number 1. Niels Langeveld finished in 4th ahead of Robin van Brink. Martin Statman finished 6th for GazX Racing. Jeroen Vatlet, 7th place. Kevin Unk in 8th. And the 2 next level cars, Wiebe Nijkamp and Kaz Brinkhausen, 9th and 10th. That's going to be your front row for race number 2. So it'll be all next level up front in the series they organize. No conspiracy there. Oscar Pye finished in 11th place, just outside of the reverse window. Jeffrey Komel, also a next level driver, I believe, finished in 12th. Nikolai Thrain in 13th. Ferdinand Kuhl was your top AM finisher in 14th.
Way to go, Ferdinand.
Very nice. Richard Buchema, 2nd on the AM podium. Maximilian Paul, after some damage, finished in 16th place. Jeremy Van de Kratz, there it is. Jeremy Van de Kratz finished 17th and 3rd, the final spot on the AM podium ahead of Elijah Mitchell.
Okay, so Ricardo Ronquema finished 19th. Nick Stoop 20th. Ben Cullen 21st. Simon Van Dyke 22nd. Christian Glamseater in 23rd. Hugo Sass 24th. Ricard Boberg in 25th. Imam Bakr in 26th. Tarek El Shafi in 27th. Then we had Eilis de Vries in 28th. Dennis Earhart in 29th. Pep Kriveld in 30th. Stefano Pellegrino 31st. Justin Nair 32nd. Flavio Saturnino 33rd. Alex Reinders in 34th. Danny Hugendorn in 35th. Joris Blom, 36th, Jelle Stamborg in 37th, and Fabian Tobin in 38th.
30 nice. Stefan van der Velde. 40th was Robin Clerky. 41st was Eric Verlet. 42nd, Caleb Lavender. 43rd was Nils de Kuiper. And 44th, Jensen de Leo.
So a very incident-laden first race, Tyler. Are we expecting anything more? How should I put it? Reserved for race 2?
Incidents at Monza?
At
Monza, Pete? Yeah, that's about what I expect from Monza. Probably a bit cleaner than some, given the strength of the field in this series. But yeah, that's just what you get, isn't it? Hopefully, it's a bit cleaner in race number 2. But you know, when you funnel the cars at the end of the longest straight into a 90-degree right-hander, you're gonna have some trouble, and they sure did. And obviously, the second big incident was not a typical Monza crash, but you know, you're gonna have some here and there. So certainly, it's I wouldn't expect any different in race number 2, even if we can hope for a somewhat cleaner race.
Yeah, I think given the chaos of that first race, turn 1 might be approached slightly more hesitantly this time round. Just for everybody watching, because Clyde is so needy, don't forget to give us a like. He cries if he doesn't get enough likes on the stream. Yeah, Bill, your view of race 2 in the face of race 1?
Well, it's hard to believe it could be any more chaotic than the first one was. Tyler mentioned, that starting the whole group and funnel them down into a 90-degree corner, not only is that tough, but it's so narrow through there. I mean, I can think of another course that you go through 90 is Watkins Glen, and you never see anything like that at the Glen because there's a lot more room there, There's just a lot more room to spread out and stuff. But, I mean, it happens there too, but that was really unbelievable. But anyway, hopefully cooler heads will prevail and realize that they have, what do we have, 60 minutes in this race?
45.
45.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's enough. I mean, you don't have to get up 10 positions in the first lap, but, the adrenaline flows. What can you do? I mean, it happens. So hopefully it'll be a little cleaner this time.
And Clyde, is there any mileage in starting from pit lane this time round?
Yes, if you want to try and avoid the big one which does tend to come. No, if you want a decent result, that's the trouble. You're not going to get through 45 cars and get a podium finish. I don't think that was as bad as maybe we're making out. I've seen better, but I've certainly seen a lot worse. And I've just seen that Fabian Tobin and Pep Kriveld have got pit lane starts for the second race for causing the initial pile up. So the steward's straight on that. But yeah, it's, it is the nature of the track. Can drivers be better? Yes, most definitely. But for every 5 drivers that are trying to do it better and trying to do it safe, there's one going gung-ho through the middle, and that's where the accidents happen.
And Tyler, the start from Carlos.
Tyler's missing at the moment.
Oh, is he AWOL? Well, what about what do we used to call that? We used to call that going for a foggy, didn't we?
Anyway. Going to log off.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
The toilet humour has started.
Yeah, this is it now.
Yeah,
we're all doomed. We're doomed.
This is great.
So, Bill, the start from Carlos. What's your opinion on that? It was very starty-stoppy, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't think the result of the race would have been affected one way or the other because he's certainly a sensational driver. I think he would have won anyway, in all due respect. And it's a guess, of course, but just kind of a gut feeling. But it's not an ethical thing to do. I mean, I don't know if his explanation is good enough. I mean, I don't see any penalties handed out yet, but I used to be a starter, and that was one thing that you really frowned on because what happens is you get the hell of an accordion effect behind you. You can cause a lot of cars to get damaged beyond being unable. By the time you get to the end of the line, especially with like 40 or 50 cars like what we got, at the end of the line, you're hitting somebody pretty hard by that point. So
yeah, absolutely.
it's not the ideal thing. If he actually saw a message that messed him up, so be it. But I'm not one to judge that, but I don't like when that happens.
You guys mentioned the penalties.
Yeah. I think if I was a steward in that case, I think that would have been look, we didn't like that start, do it again, and we'll take action.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah. Richard Allsop on the chat agrees with Clyde. He says, as always, and I don't get this term, the end of a bell. Don't know what that means. And that's what Clyde also means. It's a family show. Anyway, Caleb Lavender trying to get some practice in. He didn't get much racing last time out because he was involved in that first lap incident, I think.
The insult to injury is he's going to have to start from the back in this one as well.
Yep.
Perhaps he should go for a bright yellow car.
Yeah.
Nobody could see him. That was the problem.
Yeah, stealthed his way into the pits.
Is this our friend Flavio Satortini?
Saturnino, yes.
That's it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I changed his name. There you go.
He got collected by another Audi at the end of Parabolica, didn't he?
Hopefully he can stay on the tarmac more this time. He was off the road a lot. I felt sorry. I'm sure the frustration kind of sets in, and when that happens, you're all over the place.
Yeah, you just reminded me. He had two incidents, didn't he? He had Ascari, where he was basically off the track more than on it on that lap.
He was off the track. I mean, he was running down along through like 2 or 3 dirt traps before he got back on the course. We got our starting grid here.
We do. So we should run through the top 10. I'll start us off. So Kaz Brinkhausen will go off as poleman this time for Next Level Racing. He's off next to one of his teammates, Biba Nijkamp. Third is Kevin Unk for DSCDA Esports. Then Jeroen Vatlert for Simworld GT Racing is in fourth. Fifth is Martin Statman. Sixth is Robin van Brenk. Niels Langeveld off seventh. Sam Koiter off eighth. David Plasman off ninth. Carlos Diegas off 10th. And then we get into the standard running from the finishing order from last time. Oscar Pine 11th. 12th will be Justin...
Jeffrey Colmel.
Sorry, Jeffrey Colmel, thank you. Should we go down just to the 24th and then everybody else can be guessed over? Go on, Clyde, your dulcet tones are waiting.
13th is Nikolai Thrain. 14th, Ferdinand Kuhl. 15th, Richard Bukima. 15th. 16th is Max Paul. 17th is Jeremy van der Kratz. 18th, Elijah Mitchell. 19th, Ricardo Ronquema. 20th, Nick Stoop. 21st, Ben Cullen. 22nd, Simon van Dijk. 23rd, Christian Glamseater. And 24th, Hugo Sass.
The drivers just got the helpful reminder from Simon van Dijk, that one of the league organizers in turn 1, be careful, not like last time.
Yeah.
So we will follow the massive safety truck down towards Parabolica.
It's not as big as the BMW.
It's not, no, the BMW is half the size.
That's just what most people in Italy drive, isn't it?
But gigantic American pickup trucks.
Yes.
Oh, we have pit lane starts, of course, as well.
Yeah, those are the drivers who were responsible for the incident in turn 1, race 1.
Coming through what Clyde lovingly calls a Diabolica.
Yep, pace car's going to duck in.
We have a
Truck.
pace.
Yeah.
Does Kaz play the games that we saw Carlos play last time? I don't think so.
Watch
So
out
he's
for your
holding them up
messages.
well.
It's going to go very shortly.
He just waited for the lights and that.
There you go.
So this could get very tasty at turn
Oh,
1 because
wide
we're 3
behind.
wide, 4 wide.
Oh, look at this.
Oh dear, don't
Shut
blink,
your
folks.
eyes.
Oh, there we go.
That was Sam Coitert hitting Weeba Nijkamp there.
Yes.
And somehow that seemed to be it for the chaos.
Yeah, that seems fairly pedestrian compared to the last time, so well done everybody.
Oh, that's Weeba coming back on there.
Oh,
and he's got a nudge
Oh,
from...
I think he got touched again there.
Yeah, it was Martin Statman, and he spun across the track.
Up in the air.
Look at that car up in the air. Wow.
Yeah, that's Weeba still.
Shit.
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
Big did is Microsoft Flight Sim, not iRacing.
That's
Wow.
just crazy chaos.
Wow.
So, my plan about starting in pit lane looks good now, doesn't it?
I want to see an onboard from Wobbly Kneecap. He actually had a little wave at the International Space Station.
Yeah, he took a trip into the stratosphere there.
Wow.
That's side by side into Ascari 1 there. That was Carlos trying to make something happen on Robin van Brank.
Yeah, he's
Also,
up to 7.
nobody panicked, but Ben Cullen is in the top 15. He's running in 14th after all of that.
It'll never last.
Because Brinkhausen has dropped quite a few positions from the start, even though he's not been actually involved in any of the incidents.
Yeah, he's running in 6 right now.
Yeah, unless it's something that we've just not seen.
No, I don't think it was. It was Martin. So Martin Statman was the one who gave Weeba the nudge when Weeba came back on track in Curva Grande and was going slowly. I don't think it was anything Martin did wrong. I think it was just they were 3 wide and Weeba was off the pace.
I think Weber was serving a slowdown out of because he had to cut the chicane at turn 1, didn't he?
Yes. Yep.
I think he was serving a slowdown on a very, very busy bit of track and ended up getting hit checks off the track.
Yeah, and then just spun back across.
Yes, I mean that's easily done on it in any of the cars on iRacing. You're just a passenger after that.
Yeah, certainly. You do wonder if there might be something in the way of penalty coming Sam Coitert's way, who currently leads this race, because he was the one who gave the nudge to Weeba that sent him cutting through the chicane on lap number 1. Which would be music to your own Batlets here, who's actually right with Sam, if my timing screen is right, keeping him honest for the race lead. Niels Langeveld in 3rd at the moment, also not too far behind.
Yeah,
it's been a solid performance from Niels Langeveld between the 2 races.
I was just going to say the same thing.
All right. Weeba Nijkamp.
Yeah, he's definitely serving a slowdown here in the end. So
he got a nudge there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Get ready, lift off!
wow. Jeez. Holy cow. Oh, shit. Oh, my.
I'm curious to know why Statman ran so wide through Curva Grande, because that did seem wider than normal, but... Oh, they were 3 wide already, and he just got a nudge from... Who was that? Was that Niels Langeveld that gave him the nudge? I think it might have been.
Possible. That's unreal, that, isn't it?
Oh, and he gets hit by his teammate, too.
There was Stefano Pellegrino involved as well.
I think some dude was utterly unconscious for that.
I think Wobbly needs some NASA insignia on that car now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
It's not, it doesn't have an odometer, it's got a mileometer on it. For air miles.
Keep trying, Pete.
I'm trying, very trying. what most of the people that ever encounter me say.
You need an altimeter.
Oh, Carlos must
That's
have
the one.
have a slowdown there. I think he probably ran either cut or ran wide in Lesmo 2, because he's just let a whole bunch of cars through there and set himself back to where he started the race in P10.
I don't think he did that to be kind.
No, or to make it harder on himself.
Yeah, there you go. I need a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
His BMW looks like it's had damage front and back.
I'm not so
he
sure.
was-
I think
he
it's
was
just
involved in
ugly.
it.
Definitely
No,
in the
no.
back.
Yeah, there's
damage.
definitely some wrinkle in the back. I'm not sure about the front though. It's just the way it looks.
Can we get a camera on the front of that car looking back at it, Sam, or are we use that for something else?
Do you want to see the back or the front of Carlos' car?
Front, please.
It'd be great if you could be a bit closer from the car in front of him. There we go.
A little wrinkle
Okay,
there.
I think
Yeah.
that's close
Oh,
enough.
come on, right in the trunk.
Well, if there wasn't before, there is now. Oh,
there's the contact.
Uh-oh.
no! Man.
Welcome to Monza.
Yeah.
And yeah, you saw a what was that?
Oh, it was the Audi in front that lost it on throttle, I think. I don't
Yeah.
think Carlos made any actual contact there.
No, there's a lot of checking up.
Well, he did eventually, but not to set it off.
So yeah, that was an Audi raping a BMW, and that, folks, is how Mercedes are born.
Pretty close to a three-way.
Yeah, well, you know, there was definitely some spit roasting going on there.
And we're only 7 minutes into. Look at that wing. Wow, that's a beauty. Whose car is that?
I think that's Ferdinand Kuhl, who is dropping rather rapidly.
It is,
my
yeah.
bad.
Caleb Lavender's still going.
Indeed, he
Although,
is.
although nobody can see his car.
Up 22 spots from the start of the race.
That would be good at night.
Yeah. Do you remember that race that we broadcast at Le Mans with that guy where his headlights didn't work?
That was
Just
hilarious.
started, yeah.
That was wonderful. That was hilarious.
There goes Ferdinand Kuhl into pit lane.
That was Ivan Batman.
That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
was it?
Hyman
In
Batman.
the V8. Yep.
Oh, right, yes, sorry, yeah. At Le Mans, yeah. Jeffrey Colmel, and is that Jeremy van der Kratz?
Yes,
I
it
believe
is.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jeffrey's just got by Ben Cullen. Or no, sorry, Van der Kratz has just gone by Colmel. Because Ben was in 12th. And he's watching this battle closely.
He's nearly getting himself a top 10 finish in this one.
Don't say things like that. Go to
I
his
just
head.
cursed him, yeah.
Side by side.
Oh.
You can do that as long as you don't hit them curbs too hard, because it just bounces your car out onto the track.
Yes.
They're about as round as sewer pipes.
And as big. So Niels Langeveld currently in second place, under a lot of pressure now from Joran Vatler, with Sam Koitert not too far in front at the moment.
Yeah, and we kind of had our point cut off by the replays from the wreck, but Niels Langeveld has had a bit of a quiet couple of races, but he's been mighty impressive, running up front in both of them. Started in 7th after finishing race 1 in 3rd, and he's up to 2nd.
Sam will be looking in his mirror saying, please keep fighting, boys.
Yep.
The Ford has made it through the carnage, apparently. Simon Van Dijk looks pretty clean, actually. Not any damage I can see on that Ford.
No, much better than last time. He was out in the first turn last time, I think.
No, he was still going.
Was he?
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
a chunk out of his wing, didn't he, at the end?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He currently is 4th in the AM class, which is led by Jeremy Van de Kratz, who we saw battling with Jeffrey Como before. Elijah Mitchell in 2nd, and Richard Bukema in 3rd.
So do you think the Audi in front is better at turning left or right?
That's a good question.
If the wing was actually acting like it was shaped like it is, he'd be better at turning right.
Yeah.
Like a winged sprint car.
Yeah, it's
With
very
the asymmetric wing.
yeah, sloping up.
Yeah. That's Elijah Mitchell getting by Ben Cullen. Or getting alongside Ben Cullen. Presumably getting by.
It's not done just yet, but there's a lot of speed on the outside of Parabolica, isn't there?
Yep.
They're about even here, though.
Ben's
But I
holding
think
his own.
Ben's
He's
gonna
slightly
drop in behind.
him, tuck in behind him.
Yeah.
Try to get a little draft.
Yeah, a little slipstream into turn number 1.
Yep.
Try and beat him on the brakes. But he tucks back in behind.
Still say this should be not the best place.
No, it's a bit of a liability for both parties, isn't it, really?
It's the only place to pass. That's the problem. This is the battle for 10th once again. Jeffrey Como getting back by Jeremy Van de Kratz.
Yeah, that's an overtaking place there at chicane 2, isn't it? But yeah, there's not much after that. Parabolica and then turn 1, that's about your 3 places. There's nowhere through here to do anything. Unless a mistake's made in front of you. Scari's too fast to do anything with.
Niels Langeveld had reeled in Sam Poitzer.
Yeah.
He is good and close, isn't he?
Yeah, Andy's separated himself
Ooh,
away from Aaron
that's-
Butler.
Danny Hugendorn around at Lesmo 1, I believe. Yeah.
What happened to this gentleman?
By himself. A little too deep.
Oh, Hugendorn, okay. Yeah, wow.
He just got in a little too deep and
He didn't hit
either lost it
anything.
on the brakes or lost it on acceleration.
Fortunately, he didn't hit anything. Dennis Gerhardt. On a replay. Uh-oh.
Ooh, that's too much curb. Out
that
of a
one
Scotty.
covered.
That's a favourite place to crash for a lot of people, including me.
We've adjusted his rear wing as well.
I've got a screenshot of one of my V8s upside down on top of the tyre wall just there.
This is the battle for 4th. Kaz Brinkhausen has it. Martin Statman wants it.
That's David Plasman behind them, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it is. And then back up front, Niels Langeveld still catching Sam Coitert and taking your own Vatlet with him, it seems.
You see how much he closed under braking just then? That was crazy.
Closed into 3/10 behind. That's really reeling them in pretty quickly.
I wonder if tires or fuel are going to factor into this at all. Maybe Sam just saving his stuff a little bit. Because it certainly seems like Niels is being the more aggressive of the two.
He's coming after him right now.
And this is definitely it. A change for the lead here.
Ooh,
He
into
just
Parabolica.
absolutely swept past him.
Oh, yeah, and I've just seen we do have a fuel limit. I should have remembered that from last time, but we should expect to see some pit stops, so maybe Sam just taking it easy, saving some fuel, and letting Niels go through to use his toe.
Instead of David Plasman on your screen in front of him, looks like body of water.
Does look icy, doesn't it?
Looks cold, doesn't it? Wow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're side by side into turn 1. That's Kaz Brinkhausen and David Plasman, who's been able to get the jump on Statman and might get Brinkhausen here as well. So a good day for David Plasman too.
Yeah, he did reasonably well in the first race, didn't he?
Yes, he did, very quietly too.
Yeah.
He was second,
driver.
wasn't he? Yeah. Didn't quite have Carlos's pace, but with Carlos out of this one, he could stand to have the best points round out of anybody here.
Had some good races in the Lamborghini League, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yep.
And then it's that picture of Kaz Brinkman. Thumbs up. Thumbs up to you, man. Keep going. And here comes the saga.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no.
That was Pippin Krajeveld hitting Dennis Earhart, I think. No,
Yeah.
Eric Verley. Eric Verley was the one who got hit.
And Flavio Saturnini was the innocent bystander on that one.
He did well there, to be fair.
Yes, he did. He missed the guardrail, which was a heck of an accomplishment. Well, he did get a side slapper there, but look at that. Boy, he just barely missed that guardrail. That was excellent.
Yep.
Eric Valet, pinball wizard.
Smart to back up there, though, instead
Yeah.
of trying to spin it around going forward. Next level cars running together. No surprise there. But this is Kaz Brinkhausen getting swarmed at the moment. Martin Statman still trying to find a way through in that BMW. He has had a heck of a time trying to work his way forward in these two races.
Yeah, and the door gets slammed fully shut on Robin van Brink there. So he has to try and find the outside line, which is going to be the inside line for this chicane. He's got that done.
He's done it, yep. Into the Lesmo sisters, 1 and 2.
And Sam hasn't really let Niels get away, has he? So
No.
maybe he did just want to kind of sit in that toe and save a little bit in behind Niels Langeveld, because he's hanging on quite well.
Do we have any idea when they should be stopping? Has anybody calculated anything?
Don't know definitely, but on a full tank, these cars can do about an hour, and they're limited to 60%. So would expect somewhere around 40 minutes or so. Is that
Wow.
math right? No, that math is not right. Sorry.
60,
30,
be 40.
35 minutes or so, right? So
Yeah, pretty close. Only
I would guess the pit window is somewhere from 25 to 35 minutes.
I wouldn't be surprised if the pit window is long since open. I don't think Sam is trying to stretch it to a nose stop, but Monza is a fairly high fuel consumption track, so it'll probably be on the higher usage side, but would expect the pit window probably open around 10 minutes into the race or so.
yeah.
I guess the question is whether we hit the lap number or the time number first this time.
That's true.
All three of them weren't bouncing through those curbs at the
Yes,
second
they did.
chicane there. They all need to visit their dentist to get their fillings put back in after the race. Oh, that's why.
Whoa.
Oh dear. It's a very lively Audi, it has to be said.
Yes, it is.
Picture of Martin Stratman looks like he just had his 14th birthday. Got it. If you're older, Martin. David Plasman.
Yeah, he wants that
Nice.
place back.
He does, and he's got it now.
Yeah, what a nice.
Days, I think, but he's got about a 6 or 7 second gap to close to the front group.
Tyler's in the toilet.
Now he's across the room or something.
Oh, I pulled my mic up to blow my nose.
Well, thanks for not sharing that. We appreciate that.
Allergy season, which means it's spring, which is nice.
Them all trying to tow each other there. Whoa.
Snaking my way down the front stretch.
Yeah.
Any further over, he'll be able to high-five his pit crew.
So he's going to run really tight into there, huh?
I decided to come off the last turn and go all the way to the right and lost it. Ended up in the pit wall.
I was doing a little bit of that at Okayame yesterday, just because the BMW had so much straight line pace compared to the Porsche I was in. I had to do something as Oscar Pye is trying to get by Ben Cullen and follow Caleb Lavender through, and Ben is defending relatively fiercely. I think he probably knows that this is not a position he's going to keep till the end of the race, but no reason not to fight for it now. Pye is rather displaced from his starting position, so he must have been involved in something early on there. Ben's
Flashing lights at him.
yeah, that'll be coming out of his paycheck. What was the fine you figured it was $50 per flash?
Yeah, so there was at least $200 in that one.
Or 50 pounds or whatever country we're in at the time.
Whatever gives the favorable conversion rate.
Yeah. Yeah, these three not letting each other go at all.
Wow, it's for the top three, those guys are really close, I'm telling you.
Ben said on the chat that they'll need to pit around the 20 lap mark, so
Okay.
gives you a sense that the pit window probably opened about 5 laps into the race. So has anyone made a stop yet, I guess, is the next question. I see Yella Stamborg made a stop on lap 7. Hugo Sassam made a stop on 8, and Robin Kloka on lap 9.
To answer Stacey's question, yes, Niels did used to race a yellow Lamborghini. That was last season. This season he's moved on to a pure white Audi.
Well, I gotta believe in Stacy's eyes, he's out of the picture now.
Probably dead to her now that he sprayed his car a different colour.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell you what, Joran Vatler's doing a very good job of sticking with these guys, unless they're both doing some sort of fuel save.
Yeah, lap times looking at the top 3 are right there with pretty much everybody kind of in the top 10 or so. Everyone looking at mid 49s for the most part until you get back to who's the first driver in the 50s. Oscar Pye did a 50.6 last time. Everyone ahead of him is in the 49s, although Oscar was battling Ben, so that would have slowed him down a bit.
Yeah.
So most of the field looking at 49s, 50s.
Look at this.
Staunch defending there from David Plasman. He does not want to give that spot up to Martin Statman. Doesn't look like he will into turn 1. Good on the brakes is that Audi.
Very trusting of Martin Statman as well, because when you come across in the braking zone like that, you've got to be confident that the other person is not going to just drive straight into the back of your car.
Yeah, it's just a matter of situational awareness, isn't it? You know, I mean, these two guys have been battling for a number of laps, so at this point, you know, if you're David Plasman, you'll have a good sense of where Statman is braking, where he's easing off into the corner, so you know if you've got, you know, half a car length like he did, that you're probably pretty safe to tuck in front. It's just one of those things that you don't even think about when you're just watching a race and not driving. You know, you're just thinking, oh, you know, you just run your line, and you know, if someone is going to pass you, you just, you know, run your line and brake a little earlier. But no, it's you have to be aware of what everyone is doing around you. You know, if you want to be really competitive, it takes some serious situational awareness, which is what all of these top level drivers have.
And they're making their way now through a number of back markers who, well, that Lamborghini back there looks half finished. It's missing most of its bodywork. Oh, here we go, Nick Stu.
Yeah, he was the one who
He's about
spun to.
Ooh.
Whoa.
That'll be his second incident of the race, because he was also involved in the Curva Grande launch, Lamborghini launch. Here is again Plasman and Statman going at it.
Yep, same as last lap, looking at
And
it.
if they're not careful, Van Brink is going to be involved soon as well.
I was going to say, Rob Van Brink's probably saying, go ahead, boys, no problem.
He's probably hoping that Plasman is underestimating Statman's braking point.
Yeah, really.
little nudge, and he's got a top 4 finish.
He's trying to stay with these guys. Brinkhausen, sorry.
Yeah, he's steadily backwards from the start. He was on the front row.
Coulthard is close.
Yes, he is, but doesn't seem particularly interested in making a pass happen. Because he's been close enough a couple of times where he could have, you know, shown his nose or made a, you know, a half-hearted lunge. But for now, he seems content to just stay in line with Niels Langeveld.
I think you're absolutely correct. When it seems when he's getting into the braking area, he really backs down a little bit to give him plenty of room.
But this is where the action really is at the minute. This is a 4-car train now.
Yeah, I think if we were going to see anyone kind of go off strategy on the pits, we'd see Martin Statman dive for pit lane and try an undercut on some of these guys, because he's got to be fed up sitting in behind David Plasman. The tough thing with the undercut, obviously, is it relies on you coming out in clear air, which is not always the case, especially if it's considerably earlier than most of the field, who seems to be planning to run these tanks dry. But as it stands at the moment, nobody. You have to get back to 19th place. Elis de Vries, who is in the pits right now, actually, for the first of the cars who have made a stop late enough to make it to the end, presumably.
Yeah, finding an area of track with nobody on it when the field is as big as this is a massive challenge, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, with the track map up, you can kind of get a sense of where the groups are, but I don't know what the pit delta is here. But if you're, say, you know, if you look at the number 4, so that's 4th position, that's David Plasman, you could get lucky and come out kind of in that gap between 17th and 18th, or between 20th and 21st, but there's also the chance that you end up right in that gaggle from 12th to 17th.
Yeah,
and that is going to be a nightmare for your lap times and completely ruin the point of the undercut, which is to set some quick laps on, you know, while you can before the other driver makes their stop.
I think both of you guys kind of nailed it. It's very difficult to come out in clean air when you got 30 cars spread all over the track, and virtually impossible.
So what are you thinking, Clyde? Are these guys going to run it dry or use a series of pitting tactics? Is he eating cake?
I think so.
I think he said he'd be back.
He said he'd be back.
Right, missed that one. Ben Cullen again. in this little mob. Kevin Unk lining him up for an overtake potentially.
Yeah, Kevin Arnold's taking a look coming into that first corner. Looks like Ben's moving over.
I think he's just trying to break the toe a little.
Oh, that could be.
I'm not so sure. I think he might be trying to let him through here.
Ah, right.
Because that's not really, if you're going to defend into the second chicane, you don't move before Curva Grande. It doesn't really make sense to take the wide line in Curva Grande. There's not enough banking to get the momentum run on the outside, so I'm pretty sure Ben was just letting him through there. Kevin's been putting in some quick laps, so...
Yeah, probably just trying to survive to the end in a race like this.
I think so. Ben actually just set his quickest lap of the race, which was a 49.33, which is pretty competitive with what the people in front of him are doing. The quickest driver that time around was actually both Niels Langeveld and Jeroen Vatlet, who did a 49.1. So Ben just a couple of tenths off that. Obviously, he'll be a bit slower this lap, getting overtaken by Kevin, but...
Oh, he had a slowdown. That's what the cause of that was.
Plasman and Statman still beating on each other here. I can't believe it.
So Kaz Brinkhausen has just pitted.
So that is the first of the front runners to blink. So
yeah.
He was right at the back of this group. So this will be very interesting, actually. Clearly, Kaz trying to get the jump on this battle pack here and see if he can't sneak a top 5 finish out of it. So it'll be very curious to see where he comes out of pit lane, if he's got some clear air to set some good laps.
Not a bad strategy.
Nikolai Thrain, Oscar Pye, Ben Cullen also in the pit lane now. So they are the ones who are trying this sort of undercut strategy. As we see Kaz coming back on track, it looks like he'll be in relatively clean air. Just that one Audi ahead of him of Richard Buchema. And then he's got a pretty good gap to Fabian Tobin. So this could definitely work out well for Kaz Brinkhausen.
Yeah, and without the big traffic behind him, to get his tires up to temperature, he doesn't have anybody harassing him for the first lap or so.
Yeah, it really just depends how difficult Buchema makes it. He'll have the tow for some of it for sure, but if Buchema makes his life difficult, then he might lose out, as Sam Coitert has a big run on Niels Langeveld. So Sam has decided it's go time, apparently. He wants to be back in front by the time they make their pit stops. He's trying that outside line into Parabolica, but he tucks it back in as they head into corner entry. Does he try to cross over? Nope, Niels keeps it a little bit too tight for that. So Sam's going to have to wait until they get back to turn 1, except Niels is peeling into pit lane. Niels Langeveld the first to blink. Not often you see the leader come in first, but maybe he was just using more fuel.
Quite a few in pit lane now.
Yeah,
So you do wonder if Sam Coitert and Jeroen Vatlet were just saving there in behind Niels Langeveld and letting him be the oh, now I forget the term for it. You know, when is it the peloton? I don't remember. I don't know anything about bike racing. I just let's change the subject.
Right.
Do you know anything about car racing?
I pretend to. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Well, we got wholesale stops in the pit lane now.
Yeah.
Oh, so here, Kaz Brinkhausen has come out behind Van Brank, Statman, and Plasman.
But a lot closer. A lot closer.
Not a lot closer. That's pretty much where he was. So, not really a net change for Kaz Brinkhausen, which is, it's all right. It's not what he would have hoped for, but it's not the end of the world. He didn't lose the toe or anything.
Obviously, these guys won't be taking any tyres. There'll be no point.
Yeah, so Sam Coitert and Jeroen Vatlet are the only drivers who have not made their pit stop yet. Would imagine they're going to be in this time. But if they do have the fuel for one more lap, you know, why not stretch it a little bit?
Here they come.
Yes, indeed. Oh, Jeroen with an aggressive pit entrance.
Oh.
If he wasn't speeding, that could be big, as we see if we see pit exit.
car reset from the end of pit lane, I think. That was very strange.
So we're looking back down pit lane. So we
go.
should see at some point, is Sam back out ahead. Now, where is Niels Langeveld is the question.
They came out in order again, I believe.
Yeah, so Niels heading down the front straight now. Looks like he might lose out here. So that that's fun, because that's exactly what I kind of thought Sam was doing, which was just letting Niels tow him around the track, let him save some fuel, because that's something you can really do at Monza, you know. There's lots of long straights, so you just ease off into the corners, save some fuel. And Sam and Jeroen have both had much shorter stops and put themselves almost a couple of seconds ahead of Niels Langeveld.
And 3 seconds shorter stops for Sam and Jeroen.
Yep. Yeah, thank you. So Sam's just said three seconds shorter on the pit stops for Sam and Jeroen. So that's the difference that being smart about your fuel saving can make. Even when you're not saving yourself a pit stop, it's a big deal. Ooh, there's a nudge from Sapman on Plasman. So these two resume their battle in full after the pit stop. We were just looking at Caleb Lavender, I noticed, who is up 30 spots from his starting position. He's
that's crazy.
That's excellent.
But this might be it. Plasman dives it in because, of course, he does.
Why wouldn't you?
Wow.
Oh, of course. Is
that a touch?
It might have been a little netcode nudge, because there was certainly a wiggle from Martin Statman there, but I think that is some impressively close racing.
Certainly
And does
was.
Robin Van Brank try to make something happen here, because he's got the run? No, he's backing off.
But that has also brought Kaz Brinkhausen into this.
Yes, it has.
There he is. He's right on Robin now.
Yeah, so Kaz took advantage of Robin having nowhere to go and backing off, so Kaz dove it into the Parabolica, got a good run out. This is going to be hairy into turn 1.
It's already hairy, they're not there yet.
Really?
So, you'd think the Audi would benefit from the second part of this, and he has done.
And you'd be right, yes. And Robin Van Brank also got a good run on Statman.
I cannot believe
Whoa, phew, don't do that.
Defensive from Plasman into the second chicane. Van Brank backs off again because where's he going to go? Oh, I think Plasman got a lot of curb there, and Statman's got a bit of a run into Lesmo 1, but not much you can do there.
There's not a lot of road there, though, is there?
No, there's not.
Over the curb cam. I still blink when they go over it, even though I'm watching a TV
love
screen.
that camera. That's really neat.
This is further back, isn't it? This is Jeffrey Colmel in the middle of this. Sandwich here.
Yeah, there's Ben Cullen as well, Oscar Pye, Kevin Unk, all in this battle. This is for 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th in Pro. That's 13th through 16th overall, so definitely some good points, solid points on offer for those folks battling there.
Yeah, David Plasman trying to break the toe going into Parabolica. And Kaz Brinkhausen trying to do the outside move around Robin Van Brank.
And the crossover, that's a great move by Kaz Brinkhausen to get the inside line there, but we've seen the Audi able to pull a gap on the Mercedes and the BMWs in the straight line, and Kaz just has to seat it there and settle back in behind Van Brank.
This is like buy one, get one free on battles.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that other battle with Elijah Mitchell is hotting up now. Here they are.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, Nikolai's holding the outside line here, but Elijah's got the run, and I think he's going to get the job done there. Not a good exit from Nikolai Thrain. He might be under threat here from Jeffrey Colnell as they head into the second chicane.
Nikolai Thrain is currently holding the 10th place in Pro.
Yeah, Elijah, one of the AM drivers. He's second in AM behind Jeremy Van de Kratz, who's a couple spots up the road.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying earlier, Tyler, lots and lots of red and black cars in this league at the moment.
It's just a racing thing in general, it seems, these days. Lots of red and black. They're very popular colors. As Oscar Pye makes the move into second Lesmo, that's tough to make work, but he's done it.
Yeah.
He's through on Jeffrey Kolmel and helped Kevin Unk through as well, who's going to get the run, I think, into Ascari.
He's on the wrong side here, I think. You're going to keep it around the outside here? He is. Oh, he's done a good job there.
Wow, you're not kidding.
Plasman Statman, round 45. So they head out of the Parabolica. Plasman defends as usual.
Yeah.
One of these times, Statman's just gonna stick it between him and the pit wall, and that's probably going to be the end of both of their days. But for now, he tries it around the outside again, as we're closing quickly in on the end of this race, aren't we?
Yep, we got 4 minutes to go. We're on lap 25.
I'm not sure what Martin Statman was flashing his headlights at just then. Whether that might be us, I guess, but I don't know.
I was wondering that myself, Pete.
Oh, no. Oh, is he going to collect anyone?
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Just a little side-to-side nudge there. That was Kevin Unk and Jeffrey Kolmel.
Almost seemed like more than a little. Boy, that car went a long ways. Wow.
Aggressive defending led to this.
And questionable defending, I might call it. Yeah, just nudged him onto the grass, basically. That part is just kind of a racing deal, but you're not supposed to move in reaction, and it certainly looked like Kevin was moving after Jeffrey was moving, but that's not for me to decide.
Yeah, but what Jeffrey's managed to do there is he's got the answer of yes for anybody asking him, have you ever reversed across the bump strips at turn 1 at Monza? He's one of the few people that can say, actually, yeah.
I think that's an achievement on Steam when you get the name by racing, you know?
Reverse 180.
Yeah, I wonder if people will actually look and see.
Some more defending from David Plasman.
Get a patch on your driving uniform.
Yeah. See, this is where you get the questions about when is the defensive driving too aggressive and too many movements across the track.
Yeah, I different leagues have different opinions on what is kosher and what's not, but for me it's always been, if you move before the car behind you moves, or essentially as the car behind you is moving, you're A-okay in my book. That's anticipatory. It's not reactionary. But if you're moving because you see the car behind you, or even if you don't see it, but after the car behind you makes their move, that's where it gets a little dangerous. And usually that's where most rule books will say, that's no bueno, please skip the spot.
Yeah, Ben says it was great from his view, but that's because he picked up the position from Jeffrey Kolmel.
Ben's been doing a lot of that today, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Picking up the pieces.
Yeah, but when you read the final tally, you don't, those are not highlights that are written down. So
no,
that was a change for position. Your own Vatlet ceding to Niels Langeveld. That looked a little bit like he might have had a slowdown.
Well, you say that, and Sam Coiter suddenly got himself a 4.5 second
Whoa!
lead.
Oh,
that was Plasman getting it wrong, and finally Statman is through.
We'll talk about a weight off your chest. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think they hit. I think he just kind of lost it. It looked like.
No, I don't think so. Also, don't think that's the right replay. Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go. Yep.
So into Ascari, and over
just went in too deep. Yeah, he just sailed it in too deep.
Yeah,
Tried to tuck it back, but
on that one. That's too bad. Wow. White flag.
Indeed it is.
Wow.
Leaders just picked up the white flag. Sam Coiter suddenly finds himself with a comfortable margin ahead of Niels Langeveld. So
he's actually stepping on the accelerator pedal on this lap, huh? Wow.
that's aggressive. Whoa,
Whoa.
dear.
A little squirmy under brakes there.
Yeah, it was crazy kind of wobbling that. Here he is, our race leader. Round Lesmo 2.
Now he races for Racecraft. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Recognize that paint scheme or that paint colors.
Yeah, it's Marco Nemela's
Yep, exactly.
stable, isn't it? Or the stable that they're both in.
Ooh, something's wrong with your own Vatlet. He is dropping very quickly. I wonder if he didn't put enough fuel in it.
Yeah, so is he out of fuel?
It
Yeah,
could
I
very
think
well
you're both right.
Oh,
Whoa.
just hit, that was Robin Van Brank.
That's gonna sting.
Flassman with the dip, duck, dodge, dive move on your own.
Yeah, Sam Kiter takes home the win in
Wow,
race 2.
well done. Nice job, Sam.
Niels Langeveld follows him home in second.
This is a replay of that incident. Gets alongside him, and oh crikey! Is that Robin's issue with turning in on him?
I think that's your own issue. Well, I think it's a matter of you shouldn't go too well through a Scary issue.
Well, yeah.
It's tough to say.
I'd say
Yeah.
that's 50-50. Bad decisions. Maybe should have
Yeah,
filled the car with more fuel. I don't know.
You know, it appeared to me it looked like he turned into him.
Yeah.
And the guy on the inside, whoever that was, did not have a choice. I mean, where could he go? You know.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. If he had turned any more, he would have hit the curbs and bounced out
Exactly.
anyway. So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So race victory for Sam Kiter. That will be well received by him, no doubt.
Race victories usually are.
Yeah. And for his championship, that's going to be a massive boost.
Yeah.
Especially with the trouble that hit Carlos in this race.
Wow. Yeah.
That's going to be big for championship. It looked like Carlos was going to be tough to beat, but suddenly, well, that's what happens in racing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Here comes Eric. Let's see, Earhart, whoever his first name is. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, Dennis Earhart.
Earhart, and there's our final finisher, Shafi.
Okay, so let's go through the results. So, taking home the win was Sam Kiter for Racecraft Esports. Second was Niels Langeveld for T3 Motorsport. And rounding out your podium was Martin Statman for Gazex Racing Team. David Plasman came home fourth, Kaz Brinkhausen in fifth, Max Paul in sixth, Jerome Vatlet in seventh. Your top AM driver was Jeremy van der Kratz in eighth. Caleb Lavender comes home in ninth, made up 33 places.
Wow, good job.
Robin Van Brenk in 10th. Then your second AM driver, Elijah Mitchell, came home 11th. Nikolai Thrain in 12th. Kevin Unk in 13th. Oscar Pye 14th. Jeffrey Commell in 15th. Joris Blom in 16th. Ben Cullen in 17th. And Fabian Tobin in 18th.
19th was Jelle Stamborg for DSCDA Esports. 20th was Eilas de Vries. 21st was Alex Reinders with Simon van Dijk in 22nd. Dennis Earhart in 23rd. 24th was Tarek El Shafi. Richard Bukima in 25th. Eric Valet in 26th, with 27th being Robin Kloek. Stefano Pellegrino in 28th. Stefan van der, I always get this one wrong, Velde in 29th. 30th, Danny Hugendorn. Im and Bakker in 31st, Nick Stoop in 32nd, 33rd was Flavio Saturnino, 34th was Hugo Sass, 35th was Pep Kreischfeld, and 36th was Ferdinand Kuhl, with Carlos Dieguez in 37th, 38th being Christian Glamsita, Ricardo Romkima in 39th, 40th is Wiebe Nijkamp, Ricard Boberg in 41st, 42nd was Justin Nair, Niels de Kuiper in 43rd, and Jensen de Leeuw in 44th.
Well done.
Nicely done. Yeah. Wow.
So, have we still haven't got anybody in for a chat yet. So,
We had Martin Statman for about 30 seconds, and then I think he thought better of it.
he thought, yeah, I'm not trusting them
I had
clowns.
to talk to those knuckleheads. Holy cow.
Yeah. So, a very eventful race. I'm not sure what to make of it. I'm kind of a bit struck by it in the fact that there was. I mean, Clyde's right. It's cleaner than a lot of races would be because the quality of the drivers in this league is very, very high. But the crashes we did see were pretty monumental, especially with was it Weber going into the stratosphere?
Into orbit, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
But otherwise, we saw some fantastic racing and some great overtakes. And Caleb Lavender in there, 42nd to 9th. He'll take that, he says, on the chat. We do have an interviewee, and you're up for this one, Clyde, because it is Ben.
Ben Cullen, yeah.
Even though I can't find the room that he's supposed to go into, apparently.
I'll get him.
You move him because I can't even access it.
Ben Cullen, welcome to the booth.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, an interesting night of racing for you. Tyler was saying very little, if any, practice for these races, but you managed to keep it clean and had two fairly decent races. Second one, obviously, being a bit better than the first. How did it go from your side?
The start of the first race was trying to get out of a car park after a football game. That's probably the easiest way to describe that part. And then, yeah, I heard obviously Tyler say on the broadcast, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, so not as much practice. There's guys obviously put a lot of practice into this, and you can tell because they are rapid. Was it Caleb Lavender in the second race? Just flew through the field, so I'm not going to fight him. You didn't see it on the stream, but I made a mistake on the last lap, so I dropped 2 places, which I'm a bit annoyed about. It's very different to other races that I've been in. There is some questionable driving. I'd say aggressive. I don't know if that's just because it's Monza and everybody's like last man on the brakes wins kind of thing for the chicanes, but it was good. There's obviously a great number of drivers in. Just a learning curve, I guess, until I get used to it.
Yeah, I think you know, people always say, yeah, Monza doesn't help and blah blah blah. But it's the drivers on the track, and they don't have to go 7 wide and 78 foot up in the air. But you perhaps it was your lack of practice, but you seem to drive 2 very sensible races. Just trying to keep the car on track and not do anything too outlandish, and just bag the points and the decent results.
Precisely. It's figuring out who is worth racing and who you're going to have no chance with. You try and stick with them, obviously, because at the end of the day you want to race, but picking and choosing, all right, if he's going to be a second faster than me a lap, I'm better off letting him go to catch the cars in front, and hopefully he slows them down, and then I catch back up, and I gain from doing that. And then it's guys that are around the same pace as me picking up and having a fight with them. Yeah, the plan is that it's just to kind of stay alive, pick up what I can, and go from there and settle in and try and get into a rhythm of Monza and not outbreak myself too much.
Yeah, and it does take a few races, doesn't it, in a new league before you find out which drivers you can trust, which you can't, which are on your pace, which are quicker, which are slower. But good start for you. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Give a shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast on a bank holiday Monday evening, and for everything you do with it.
Yeah, I'll have to mention that to Simon. We're on double time tonight.
Exactly. I didn't know if he knew that, so I just thought I'd get you to broadcast that. Thanks for Sam for his help earlier, so I didn't get in trouble for not having the banner on the car. And yeah, just I look forward to racing more with these guys and figuring out and having some more good battles on the track.
Excellent. Well, pleasure to speak to you, Ben. Congratulations, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, so it looks like we've only got one more interview, Pete, and that is Elijah Mitchell.
Good evening, Elijah. Do you have a copy? Maybe he doesn't.
Calling
Hello, Elijah.
Elijah, come in, Elijah.
We can't seem to get you, Elijah.
Ah, there he is. Hang on.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'd push a talk on. My bad.
Ah, there you go. Right. Good evening. Welcome to the booth. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Yeah, not bad. So, second race, second in AM. Did you manage to avoid all the chaos and crashing of... I don't think it was lap 1. I think it was lap 2, actually, in the second race. Did you get through that without any harm?
Yes, I did. As you guys saw, like there's cars flying everywhere. The hardest part about Monza is you may think it's a wide track, but when you have 2 cars or 4 cars parked on either side, it's really hard to get through, especially when you have 3 going too wide into that one little sector.
Yeah, and when you're not the lead cars, of course, you got more chance of ending up behind a crash like that. So being able to navigate it, or even just stop your car, take the maturity to stop the car and safely get through it is a lesson you learn painfully a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But you seem to do really well. We saw you racing with Nikolai Thrain an awful lot in the second race. I think it was Nikolai anyway. I'm sure you'll correct me. And Kevin Unk, but Jeremy van den Kratz kind of gapped you about midway through the race and then stretched his legs after that, didn't he?
Yeah, so after I had gotten past one of the other AMs that I was racing, it seemed that he had one of the pros in front of him, so he was able to just draft and save fuel because his pit stop seemed a lot shorter than mine. So I'm assuming that he saved that much fuel because he was behind the pro, and obviously he's dragging him along for that other bit of the lap. And so I was unable to catch up. Luckily, I did see that Caleb, with his amazing drive from 42nd to 9th, it's absolutely insane. I did see that he was coming up, so I tried to use his drafts as long as I can, and it worked to an extent, and then we had to pit. And then the leading AM got out in front of everybody that was in the pit because of how short his pit stop was.
Yeah. There was a lot to gain from fuel saving in this race and around Monza in general because you've got such long straights. If you can get in someone's toe and just lift a little, you can save a massive amount of fuel. So one lesson to take forward maybe into the next race. But a great result tonight. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to thank my team, Archer Brothers Esports, again for letting me do this. Our sponsors, Simschool Gear and Track Racer, they have been amazing to help us with this venture that we have.
Brilliant stuff. Great talking to you. Don't be a stranger to the booth, and we'll see you out on track next time.
All right, thank you. See you in 2 weeks.
Okay, so next up, guys, let's get in our race winner who was in mid-conversation with somebody else, I believe. Sam Coiter, welcome to the booth.
Yay.
Yo, guys.
Hello. Now, obviously, we want to talk about your fantastic victory in race 2. But first of all, I want to ask you about the start of race 1.
Oh.
Looked like a bit of a start from Carlos, and it really hindered you. And I think you dropped down to about 8th place.
Yeah, it really was a bit, how you say that, confusing.
Messed up.
Yeah, messed up as well, but confusing because yeah, we already had that in that Lambo Cup, like you have to wait till green. So when he pulled up, yeah, you just automatically yeah, react to that. But yeah, I just remembered it really quick. So I got off the throttle and yeah, just waited till it was green. But all the other guys were just reacting on Carlos. So yeah, I lost a lot of places there. Still happy that I could get back to P3. Yeah, P3. I thought it was.
Yep, you finished third in the
Um,
first race. That's right.
But I think Carlos still gotta get penalized for that. So
Yeah,
P2.
quite possibly. And so let's talk about race 2 then. So you got into the lead with I don't know if it was a bit of luck, but there was obviously a bit of crashy bashy going on at the front. And it looked like you was fuel saving because when Niels got to you didn't really put up much of a fight. And then at some point, I think Tyler mentioned on the broadcast, it's go time for Sam, and you breezed past him, let him take his pit stop, and ultimately ended up with a 2-second shorter pit stop, which gave you a decent lead.
Yeah. Well, on the start, I don't know who I hit it there, but I'm sorry from him. I looked at the data, and I even braked earlier than the guys in front, but still they braked that hard that they were like just stopping the car to zeros. So got a bit of damage from the first lap, and I think I just lost a lot of top speed because of that. Because my midsection, I clearly drove away like 3/10, maybe even 4, and then they all the straights was just hard to stay ahead. So in the middle of the race, I decided just to feel safe, really heavy, let Niels pass by, and yeah, I saved I think like a whole lap of fuel at the end, and that gave me that 4 to 5 seconds lead coming out of the pits. And I think Jeroen took 2 less fuel, what I saw on the end. So yeah, it was pretty clear on the end behind me.
So overall, first and third, 2 podium finishes with a win. You must be over the moon with your haul of points from tonight.
Yeah, it's a really good point, especially if you look like the past race where Carlos it's a 1-2, and yeah, I think penalized in race 1 and not finishing in race 2. So that's really good points for the championship. Mirko isn't here, so that's his drop round then, I think. So yeah.
Yeah,
Good
all
points for
looking good.
all looking good from here, but still, I think I don't know how long this schedule is. 7, 8 races, so still a lot ahead, and still a lot of things can happen, of course.
Yeah, I think it's going all the way. Any shout outs you want to give, Sam, before we let you go?
Yeah, first of all, Niels Langeveld, he drove a really good race. He was really fast, also in the sprint race, so congrats to him. And yeah, of course, my team Racecraft Esports, always supporting me, and I just helped to develop myself. And at last, but not least, the Simcontrols guys, of course, with the lovely sponsor of this league.
Excellent. Well, pleasure talking to you, Sam. Congratulations on your results tonight, and we'll see you next time out.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
And you. Okay, Pete. So let's get in for you. Second place, Niels Langeveld.
Good evening,
Hello.
Niels. How are you doing?
Hello, guys. Good evening. Yes. It's already bedtime, but I'm doing fine. I had a great evening.
So 2 great races from you, really, isn't it? Where did you finish in the first one? Was it about 5th? Something like
No,
that.
the first one was in the end 4th, I guess.
4th.
Yes.
4th.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously second in this one. Big haul of points. You kept the car clean. You had good strategy in both because in the second one, of course, there's a fuel stop. You pitted with the eventual race winner, did you? Yes, you did. And managed to haul yourself in a good bag of points. So tell us about your race in general.
Yes, to be honest, it was a quite exciting race, especially the start in both races. You know that you need to be careful when you come over 200, braking almost to 50, 60 kilometers per hour. So yeah, that's always tight there. You need to manage and survive the first couple of corners, and then make sure that that you overtake as much as possible in the first couple of laps. And to be honest, the second race, I think I was really putting myself in a good spot because after the first 2 corners, I managed to come already in 4th place. Then overtook someone before the second chicane, was in 3rd place, and then we could make a gap. Sam, Jeroen, and me together. We pulled away from the guys behind. To be honest, I still need to improve my strategies with pit stops, fuel, refueling, and always also saving fuel because Sam was behind me and was just saving fuel so he could do 1 lap more. So yeah, that's why he pitted later and came out of the pits in front of me. And in the end, Jeroen, I think, did not put enough fuel in the car. So P2, very delighted, very happy, clean race, a lot of points. Yeah, what can I say more?
And with all the incidents going on, virtually all, if not all, were behind you on the track, right?
Yes, yeah, a lot of things happened behind me. Also, the second race in front of me was an incident. I thought, oh, here we go. But happy that I survived this. I saw in the chat and also on Discord there are a lot of things were going on also behind me. So I think there will be a few reports and a few things to look at from the stewards.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in race control tonight because I think there's going to be quite a sizable list of things to go and look at. But
exactly.
Ultimately, great result for you. Great result for your ongoing campaign in this league. And there's quite a few races left to go, so plenty of points still to haul. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to or a thank you to before we let you go?
Yes, of course. I want to say I'm with a team, Euro Prestige, and the team did a fantastic job today because I managed to qualify myself at P6 or P7, and the other guys from my team managed to qualify at place 40, 41, and 42. So
a subtle difference.
Thanks, guys. Come on, keep practicing. Alex, Tarek, and Iman. In 2 weeks, you have a new chance. Go for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Paddle on the right.
Right.
Paddle on the right. Yeah. No, well, thank you very much for a very entertaining evening and a great points haul. Niels Langeveld.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Okay, so last but not least, let's get our 4th place finisher from race 2, David Plasman. Welcome to the booth.
Hi, thank you.
Hello. Where did you finish in race 1? Sorry, I haven't got it in front of me.
Yeah, P2, but I think something will happen because of the start of Carlos, so I think it will be P1. I hope so. So it was a good evening. It was a shame I'm P4 because of my mistake in Ascari. I could have been P3, but it is what it is, and that's my own mistake. So I'm still happy to be P4.
Yeah, we've never seen anybody flying backwards over those speed bumps there.
Yeah, that the car was good in the bumps.
Yeah, and obviously better backwards than forwards as well.
Yeah, the car was fine. The car was fine, and yeah, it's a shame I couldn't keep up the pace with the top 3 in the race 2. Race 1 was fine. But yeah, we have to work harder for next race.
Yeah, but still a big haul of points for you tonight. So looks like 4th in race 2, and like you say, a definite second, but possibly first place in race 1. So you must be happy with the way the evening went overall, even though you could have had another podium in race 2.
Yeah. I'm really happy with the results. But yeah, if you make a mistake on your own, you can only blame yourself. And yeah, I can be really angry on myself if I made a stupid mistakes. So yeah, harder. We have to work harder for next race and be on the podium twice.
Yeah, most definitely. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
The organization, Simon van Dijk, those teachers, all the guys who are doing the stewarding, you guys for the commentary, and Sam, congrats on the race win. Was nice working together in quali. So that's it.
Excellent. Well, pleasure talking to you, David, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, gents, so that's the interviews over. Pete, we've seen a lot of action tonight, but we've also seen some fantastic racing.
Oh yeah, the talent in this field is significant. A lot of people showing a lot of maturity, doing some very well constructed and well thought out overtake maneuvers, setting people up for safe overtakes. You're not going to get away from the chaos that is Monza, piling 40 odd cars into one very tight corner. Someone somewhere is going to be on the bit of tarmac that somebody else wants or is already on. And that's just what Monza's all about. So I've never seen a car quite achieve those altitudes as Wiebe Nijkamp. We've seen someone reversing over. It wasn't David Plasman, by the way. It was somebody else that reversed across the first chicane, which is just something that you need to sign on your headstone at the end of your life, because there's not many people going to do that. I thought it was thoroughly entertaining. Even the crashes were just, they required so many replays. It spoke for itself there. I was very happy to commentate on this. I have to thank Simcontrols for sponsoring the league and for the organisers of Next Level Esports, because just great series to be in.
Yeah, and Bill, Monza out of the way. Looking at the schedule, we're due to go to Zandvoort next time out, but I'm not 100% sure that's got enough pit stalls.
Yeah, I thought you mentioned that you swapped that over to Zolder or something.
Yeah, we that was in our league, yeah. Because
that's right. Yeah, okay.
It's only got 43 pit stalls, I think.
Well, I think if you remember last time out, they were sharing pit stalls.
Yeah, they were. Was that it? Was that at Zandvoort?
No, I mean the last Next Level race.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Just to add what Pete said, Pete pretty much covered this race totally. It was really nice in a 45-minute race. We had 2 or 3 really battling hard to take a win, and I thought that was terrific. Even David Plasman and the guys that he was racing with too, really close knit, clean racing. It was really fun to watch. Like Pete said, it's an impossibility on that first lap. I think we said it in the beginning of before it even started, to get through that first chicane and not have some kind of trauma. I mean, you see it in real professional racing. You see it all the time. It happens, and it's a shame they start with a tight corner like that right after the start. It creates a lot of problems. But anyway, it was a good race overall. Again, Monza's not my favorite place, but it's a fast, very fast course. Fun to watch these kind of cars on there, that's for sure. I had an enjoyable time as well.
Yeah, and Sam, lot to keep up with in this series.
Yeah, I think I only showed like 25% of the crashes from everything. That was pretty interesting. But yeah, great, nice battles as always in this league. This is great fun. I'm gonna just follow what the guy said. Nice races. Enjoy that as well.
Yep.
Yeah, certainly was. So, like I say, next time out we are supposed to be at Zandvoort, but we will double check on that just to make sure. Coming up on BSTV in the next week. So, on Wednesday, we have our GT4 TCR League from Sonoma. On Thursday, we've got another one-off ERU race, which Sam will be covering on the cameras. The Next Level Endurance Series Enduro League starts next Saturday from Watkins Glen. And then the Prototype Endurance Challenge is back on Sunday with round 2 from Sebring. So, big thanks to all the drivers, everybody on the chat, Simcontrols EU for sponsoring the series, everybody at Next Level E Series for the organisation, and also to my fellow commentators and cameraman, Sam Boozin, Pete Bingham, Bill Switzer, and Tyler Newitt. I shall say good night, let the guys say good night, and then it's time for us to close. So, good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Take care and stay safe.
Yeah, good night, everybody, and thanks for looking in. See you next time, hopefully.
Yeah, thanks, Clyde. Thanks, Bill, Pete, and thanks everybody watching. And all the drivers driving, of course.